I'm Allie Janoch.
And I'm Ryan Janoch. I graduated from University of Maryland with a master's in civil engineering in 2008.
Started sort of talking about things probably around the time I graduated, but it wasn't very serious. It was just kind of like around the dinner table talk. And then I joined a startup after I graduated from grad school, and that really got things started. That really got the bug going. And then after that company got acquired, that's when we started to get serious about starting a company together.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it was like moving to California in 2010.
Yeah.
And like being around the startup scene in basically full time and just hearing about it all the time definitely catalyzed it a lot faster.
You had a couple like very early entrepreneurial startup things that you got involved in.
Failures, yes.
That like never really got off the ground before we started Mapistry.
Yeah. So while I was in grad school at Maryland, I was living with my aunt in Northern Virginia at the time, and I had younger cousins and was playing around with this whole idea of a toy and a game and like how do you start a company around it, just in the kind of free time. So like playing around with that never went anywhere, and trying to figure out like how to make a foam pool toy, but now we're in software.
It was originally me that got it off the ground, but Ryan joined me very quickly. I joined this startup out of grad school, and I really loved being in like a small company. And I was hired as a software engineer, but I was able to talk to the CEO about what was working and what wasn't. And I really enjoyed that part of being in a startup. And so when we got acquired by Yahoo, I knew I did not want to be part of a big company where I didn't get to sit next to the CEO anymore. So I decided that I wanted to be the CEO, but I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do. I had like a lot of ideas, but spent a few months sort of noodling on different ideas, interviewing potential customers, etc.
I'm VP of sales, so everything for new customers. I mean, the roles definitely evolved over the years as we've changed as a company, but really trying to find who are our best customers out there, who should be kind of early adopters of our technology.
And I'm a CEO, so now I don't write code anymore, though in the early days I did. I used to effectively run our product team too now, and now I have someone running that. So I'm kind of the one overseeing the whole ship.
There's a lot of things. You make a lot of mistakes in doing this. So I guess one thing wish knew, I don't know if it would have changed anything, but just that like you make so many mistakes and how quickly you learn from them and adapt and figure out the next kind of hypothesis or question. We've been doing it since 2013, me since early 2014. So 7+ years. Like we've made every mistake possible and probably will continue to make lots of mistakes. So I think the scale of that is something that is at least interesting.
Yeah, I think one thing that I guess I kind of knew, but I maybe didn't fully appreciate is just like how much time commitment you're going to make to this thing that you're starting on, and how much you really, if you want to succeed, it's not just about, I mean, there's luck involved, having a good idea, certain skills, being smart, etc.
Well, before I went to University of Maryland, my undergrad degrees were in biology and geology. So going to University of Maryland was my opportunity to shift a little bit into the like more pure engineering, the civil environmental engineering. And I probably use it every single day, even today, because like what we're developing relies on a lot of that kind of like environmental civil engineering knowledge and like the problems we were solving in grad school.
Yeah, I think for me, the role Maryland played was obviously like so my degree is in computer science. So the foundation of everything I learned was core when we were, getting Mapistry started, and I was doing all the coding and having to learn a lot of new technologies that I didn't necessarily have experience in. And so having that sort of core educational foundation was really important. I had an advisor in undergrad who really pushed me to sort of expand my horizons when I was thinking about grad school. And she pushed me to apply for some NSF fellowships, which I got, and to apply to I guess to maybe like think more broadly about where I could go for grad school. And I ended up applying to schools in California. And I think, I think that whole, I think she just kind of pushed me to think bigger. And I think also being out here, that ended up being kind of serendipitous because I ended up joining a startup that my advisor in grad school had been involved with. So like I would have never applied to Cal in the first place if it hadn't been for her pushing me. So I think that sort of started this like series of events that led to where we are today.